Good evening, future pioneers. Thank you very much for joining us for this virtual town hall. My name is Bill Rood, and I do have the honor of being Marietta College's 19th president. For more than a year now, we have been conducting meetings just like this one to communicate with our current students and families as we have successfully navigated the pandemic and have conducted in-person classes throughout this academic year. As you prepare to join us in the fall, or as you get ready to send us your loved one, we wanted to host a town hall dedicated just to you, the members of the class of 2025 and the members of their families. We also know you probably have some questions, and hopefully we'll share some information that maybe you didn't even consider that will help you think about what you need to do between now and August when you start your college journey and arrive here on the beautiful campus of Marietta College. Before we get too far into today's town hall meeting, let me remind you that if you have a question, any question at all, please include it in the comments section and we will do our best to answer it either now or someone will get in touch with you as soon as possible. Also, I want to let you know who is joining me today to help answer your questions and provide you with an update. With me today is Dr. Janet Bland, Provost and Dean of the Faculty, Scott Schaefer, Vice President for Enrollment Management, Dr. Richard Danford, Vice President for Student Life and Diversity, Michelle Mara, Senior Vice President for Finance and Administrative Services, Larry Heiser, Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, and Elizabeth Vigue from the Student Government Association. And of course, behind the camera is Tom Perry, Vice President for Communication and Brand Management, as well as two of his outstanding team members, Phil Mason right in front of me and Mary Roberts off to my left. Let me start by acknowledging the very obvious fact that your senior year in high school has not really gone the way all of you had expected. And for that, all of us here today are very sorry. We're sorry that you've not experienced many of the rites of passage that come with a senior year of high school. However, I want to encourage you to make the most of the time you have left in high school. Make as many memories as you can because they will last a lifetime. We are excited that you want to continue your educational, and for some of you, your athletic, student government, art, music, theater, or any other career at Marietta College. I know I am biased, but I very much believe you are making a very wise decision to come to Marietta College. We have a lot of things we want to cover this evening, so let's get started by providing some insight into how we were able to conduct in-person learning for an entire year. Plus, we want to share what we plan to do between now and this fall to continue offering a safe learning environment, as well as give you important information about the 2021-2022 academic year. I know many of you have been participating in remote learning for more than a year. While some of you have been able to enjoy some level of in-person learning this year, we made the decision in June 2020 that we would be back on campus and in the classroom, a real advantage of being a small college. And we were diligent and determined to make it happen. All of that hard work paid off, and we completed the fall semester just before Thanksgiving. We also learned a lot, and we are about to complete the spring semester with a few hiccups and fewer hiccups than we did in the fall. We also partnered with the Ohio National Guard to conduct weekly COVID-19 testing. This not only saved us hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it was also a key component to keeping our campus community safe. If we received a positive test, our Campus Health and Wellness Center quickly jumped into action and placed the student in isolation and then conducted contact tracing. It has been a busy spring semester though. All of our 22 athletic teams at some point this semester have competed. And right now, 16 varsity teams are in action. Let me take a moment to give a big shout out to our Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Larry Heiser, and his coaches, administrators, and of course, all of the student athletes who are doing just an absolutely amazing jobs on and off the field. Another sign that things are slowly getting back to normal will happen next week when we host All Scholars Week from April 19th through April 23rd. Okay, the pandemic has forced us to go with an online platform, and this is normally a one-day event, but we are excited to watch and learn about some of the amazing undergraduate research that our students have conducted over the past year, or in some cases even longer. In 4 short years, many of you will be participating in All Scholars Day. We are planning for a typical academic schedule, starting with Freshman Move-In Day on Monday, August 16th, and the traditional matriculation ceremony that afternoon. All of you will enjoy a week of home activities, honoring our Marietta experience. These activities will begin before classes begin on Monday, August 23rd, and so when August 23rd comes, you'll be ready to go. We're working on some fun and exciting events and activities that all of us can partake in through the entire 2021-2022 academic year. How does an all-campus picnic sound? Or an outdoor movie or two? A music event? And hopefully, all of us will be able to be together without having to worry about staying 6 feet apart. That is what we are hoping for and preparing for starting in August of 2021. Because of COVID-19 restrictions this past year, we eliminated some traditional breaks, like fall break and spring break. However, I'm very pleased to say we're anticipating those will return this next year. As of today, we'll have a fall break in October, the normal Thanksgiving break starting on November 24th, and returning from that break for 2 weeks, 1 week of classes, and 1 week of final exams before our holiday break. However, we will conduct classes again on Labor Day, something we hope we won't have to do again in the future. We're also planning for a very typical spring semester that will include spring break in March of 2022. Of course, I have to add the very big caveat that everything is subject to change based on the CDC guidelines and the current state of the pandemic and the current rules in the state of Ohio. But we have every reason today to be very confident in our plans. Big reason why we are confident in our plans are the vaccines. They are effective and more people are being vaccinated each and every day. I would like to take this opportunity to strongly encourage all of you, if you choose to get vaccinated when you're eligible, we believe, like the experts, that this is the quickest path to getting back to a more normal life, the next normal as I call it. All of us at Marietta College are extremely optimistic that when we return for classes this fall, we will be working in this good next normal. This past week, we conducted our first vaccine on campus, and an on-campus vaccine clinic for students specifically, also a no-waste clinic for employees. We partnered with our local hospital and were able to administer several hundred vaccines. We are also looking at the strong possibility of conducting another vaccination clinic in August as students return to campus, so stay tuned. As we prepare to complete the final 3 weeks of this spring semester, I want to take a moment to share my deep gratitude to our entire Marietta College community for their absolutely great resilience. Our community has come together better than we could have ever hoped for when the pandemic began. Now we're going to ask them to take some time to rest, but also make sure we shine again this fall when we welcome all of you to the campus of Marietta College. It's enough for me, absolutely. We have a lot of things to cover, and I have a lot of good folks here to share some information with you. I want to make sure we get to everything. Some of the topics we plan to cover, but not exclusively, are housing, orientation, dining, health and wellness, what you should or could do this summer to prepare for your arrival, and a whole bunch more. As a reminder, again, please add your comments, your questions in the comments section, and we'll do our best to answer them after our team's full briefing. With that, I'm going to invite Dr. Janet Bland, our Provost and Dean of the Faculty, to give you a pep talk and share any additional thoughts she may have on the academic calendar for the fall 2021 semester. Janet, it's all yours.
Thanks, Bill. Hello, future pioneers. I bring good news. You are on the senior year home stretch, running hard, heading for the finish line in what surely must qualify as the weirdest high school experience ever. You may feel disrupted, maybe even a little cheated. We get it. But there's hope on the horizon because you're going to be attending Marietta College. So what does that mean? What exactly awaits you when you cross that finish line of high school graduation? We are all pretty much out of practice when it comes to being normal, what Dr. Ruud just called the next normal. But I can tell you what's waiting for you as you cross the finish line. Us, the dedicated faculty and staff of Marietta College. And on behalf of our entire campus community, I'm here to say, you've got this and we've got you. And I want you to start thinking about college, both in the new way and the old way. The old way, which still matters, is about you and your choices. College can reinforce who you are or offer a reset of who you would like to become. For some, it's a combination of both. It's a moment to redefine, to clarify, and to challenge yourself. Your 4 years at Marietta College will be among the most exciting times of your life. You'll have a whole new level of choice and autonomy, building the foundation for your career and your life. It's the time when you can ask larger questions about your goals, your interests, your ambitions, your passions, and then with our help and support, build an education that creates that foundation. Generations of incoming Marietta College pioneers have asked those questions. How will I make friends? How will I pick the right major for me? Can I step up to the level of performance that athletics, academics, music, theater, student leadership will require at Marietta College? Because I know this isn't high school. There will be challenges. But the fact that you're coming to Marietta means we already believe you can succeed. So if that's the old way, which still matters, what's the new way you need to think about college? It means we can move beyond the discussion, I think, of why you're taking classes in so many things, or why we need to meet so many different people, because that's what makes us, well, us. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that being with the important people in our lives matters. The new way of college will require that we are all the more aware of our family and our friends, all the more grateful for the relationships in our lives. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that the arts matter deeply. I have 2 words for you: Tiger King. As evidenced by the binge watching we have done of every film, performance, TikTok, and virtual book club or gallery tour we find. The fine and performing arts, in addition to great literature, provide us a host of creative expressions of who we are as humans and what we think and do and feel. Select your arts courses with a deeper understanding of how we all need creativity. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that science, not wishful thinking, helps us solve problems. So whether you plan to be a scientist or not, we know that there is value in studying science, and you can do that in a variety of fields here in Marietta College. Most of all, the new way requires us to be able to anticipate and plan, because the new way of life can bring great change without too much warning. But the good news is that you're coming to a school that teaches you to engage with all of this and more. You are coming to Marietta College, and that will translate into your success. I wish you the best of luck finishing up, again, the weirdest senior year of high school ever, and we can't wait until you join us at Marietta College. Let me now introduce Dr. Richard Danford. He's the Vice President of Student Life. Richard.
Thank you, Janet. Good evening, everyone. So I get to do a little more of the nuts and bolts kinds of things that you will be interested in this evening. And there are 3 specific areas I want to cover. First is information about new student onboarding, and then I'll go to housing and dining, and finally to health and wellness. So to start, new student onboarding, several of you have already participated in a PIOSOAR program. PIOSOAR is our new student onboarding program for academic registration and getting to know your peers and some of your upper class colleagues who will serve as mentors to you in your first year at Marietta College. So there was a first group who took part in a PIOSOAR on March 20th, about 95 of you. Yesterday, a group of about 70 participated in our second session. The 3 remaining sessions are on Friday, June 4th, Friday, June 18th, and Friday, June 25th. And every deposited student is invited to attend one of these PIOSOAR sessions, and those are mandatory because that's where you will do your academic registration for the fall semester. So they are a day-long program starting at about 8:30 in the morning and wrapping up by 4:30 in the afternoon. So if you haven't started to think about one of those, please do so. If you haven't deposited yet, but you're waiting on depositing, as soon as you make your deposit, you will receive an invitation to register for one of the remaining PIOSOAR sessions. And then in August, Monday, August 16th, we will have first year move-in starting at 8 a.m. in the morning and wrapping up early in the afternoon. And then at 4 p.m., we will launch the fall 2021 semester for new students with our annual matriculation ceremony. And that's a ceremony in which all new students go through a formal academic ceremony and sign their names in the register of matriculated students at Marietta College. And parents and families are invited to attend that event, and we hope that by the time we get to August 16th, we won't have quite as many restrictions on large-scale events, and we'll be able to have as many of your parents and family members and friends attend that event with you as possible. So that is also the kickoff to HOME, which is the new student onboarding experience in August. HOME stands for Honoring Our Marietta Experience, so you will begin to engage in your academics, in your new campus community, and in your exploration of yourself as a Marietta College student. And the capstone of the HOME experience is a trip to the New River for a day of whitewater rafting with adventures on the gorge. And for those who may be a little less interested in the adventure of whitewater rafting, Adventures on the Gorge has a lodge with a swimming pool, so you can swim. They have hiking trails. You can hike on the trails if you wish, and explore nature and that sort of thing. So there's something for everyone, and it's an opportunity for the entire first-year class to have a unified experience together. So it's one of those traditions we were not able to experience for the class who entered in the fall of 2020, and we're looking forward to bringing that back for the entering class in the fall of 2021. In terms of housing and dining, all deposited students should have access to the housing application in the new student portal. If you are not seeing the housing application link in that portal, please email the Office of Community Living, that's ocl@marietta.edu, and they will ensure that you have access to that link. The housing application will allow you to preference a roommate if you wish, and it's important that if there are two people who want to live together as roommates, that the preference indication is mutual, because the community living staff will only assign people to be roommates if both parties have requested to live with one another. The other piece that I want to say about the housing application is you can also preference which building in the first year complex you'd like to be assigned to. So if you haven't made a visit to Marietta College yet, so that you can explore the different buildings in the first year complex to have some sense of which of those spaces is most appealing to you, I strongly encourage you to do so, and you can reach out to the admissions office to schedule that. Finally, every student filling out the housing application should be doing that themselves, because it asks a lot of questions about your personal preferences, your living choices, what time you like to get up in the morning, what time you like to go to bed at night, how loud you like to play your music, those sorts of things. And parents, I can guarantee you that our children are not the ideal little animals we think they are sometimes. I say that as the parent of three young adults, the youngest of whom is a 22-year-old senior here at Marietta College. Allow your student to fill that out, because it's going to enhance their living experience in the first year complex if they get to describe how they really prefer to live. So thanks for honoring that request. All students, as part of the housing application process, if they're living on campus, will also get to choose whether they want to be on a 14-meal plan or a 19-meal plan. The 14-meal plan provides students 14 meals per week. The 19-meal plan obviously provides them with 19 meals per week. Our dining services provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Friday, and then brunch and dinner on Saturdays and Sundays. So if you want to have access to all 19 of those meals, you will choose the 19-meal plan, and that tends to be most popular among students who are physically active or know that their metabolism requires them to eat a full range of meals every day. The other thing that I want to point out in this regard is that official housing assignments will not be made until July 1. Those will go live on July 1. That's because we want to get all students through the PIOSOR experience, because for some students it may be that they meet someone they want to preference as a roommate during one of those PIOSOR events, and so that gives them time to get us that information before housing assignments go live on July 1. And once those housing assignments are made, then anybody who comes in after that will be assigned randomly. We also need to wait until then to see what the gender balance is in the incoming class, because all of our residence halls are co-ed by floor, so we need to determine how many men's floors we need, how many women's floors we need, that sort of thing. That is true except for the honors floor, which is on the first floor of Russell Hall. That is a floor that is co-ed across the floor, and there are men's restrooms and women's restrooms on that floor. So any questions about any of that, again, ocl@marietta.edu, and they can answer any questions you might have about housing or meal plans. And then finally, I want to talk about our Center for Health and Wellness here on campus. We have a medical staff that is supervised by a family physician who has working under him a physician assistant who's here full-time. Our supervising physician is here just on a part-time basis. And then we have a full-time physician assistant and 2 staff nurses on the medical side. And then on the mental health side, we have 2 full-time licensed professional counselors, as well as a part-time professional counselor, and always at least 1 intern from a graduate counseling program at Ohio University. So in terms of what you're working on for the fall semester, getting information to us, and you have access to how to provide us this information in that new student portal, are your vaccination records. For all students living in campus housing, the state of Ohio requires that you disclose your status with regard to vaccination for meningitis B, and for hepatitis B. And that doesn't mean you have to be vaccinated for those diseases, but you need to disclose to the college whether or not you have been vaccinated. And then apart from that, the college does have a series of vaccines that we require of all our students, whether they are living in campus housing or not. And I guess I failed to mention when I was talking about campus housing, if you intend to be a commuter student, you still need to do the housing application and indicate that you're asking to be a commuter student. And in order to be a commuter student, you must live within a 35-mile radius of Marietta at the place that is your primary residence, with your parent, legal guardian, also residing at that address. So back to the vaccines that we require here at Marietta College. We require Tdap, that's tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis, or whooping cough. We also require the MMR vaccine, which is measles, mumps, and rubella. We require hepatitis B, as well as meningitis, and we also strongly recommend meningitis B. I know many of you are asking the question, will we be requiring a COVID vaccine? At this point in time, we are not permitted to require a COVID vaccine, although as President Rood has indicated, we very strongly encourage you to get the COVID vaccine if and when you are able and willing, in order to help us reduce the number of individuals who need to be isolated or quarantined once we begin the fall semester. For all vaccines required at Marietta College, there are waivers available for religious reasons, for medical reasons, or for personal reasons, and there is a form available in that new student portal where you can provide that information and documentation if you wish to be waived from those vaccination requirements. So I'm sure there will be lots of questions coming my way about this and other things that have to do with student life, but for now I'd like to turn the microphone over to Scott Schaefer, who is our Vice President for Enrollment here at Marietta College. Scott.
Thank you, Richard. Welcome, future pioneers. 300, almost 300 of you already have made your deposit. That's great. One of the things you have to make sure, please make sure that you send in your final high school transcripts for us. We need that. Any place that you've gotten college credit for, please send that also for each college where you've taken classes. And those of you who've taken AP or IB tests, please send those in also. For those of you who are still making a decision, May 1st is the National Candidate Reply Day. That's coming up soon, very soon for us. If you think you need to look at us one more time and you want to visit, you can do it virtually or in person by going to marietta.edu/visit or calling us at 740-376-4600. And we'd be more than welcome to have you come on campus, talk to a faculty member, sit in on a class, meet with admissions, take one final look at the residence halls, whatever you need to do so you make the best decision that you can. For those of you after tonight, if you like what you saw, and I know you will, please make the deposit. Go to www.marietta.edu/be-a-pioneer and you can pay your $200. You'll be in the system tomorrow and the information about Pile Store will go after that. If you need more time though, because May 1st is coming quickly and I know time this year is very different for everybody, please just let us know. Give us a call, talk to your counselor, talk to myself. We're more than willing to work with you because we know this was such a different year. So just please let us know. Welcome, Pioneers. Welcome more future Pioneers. Enjoy the remainder of your senior year, and we know it was a crazy one, but we're so excited to have you join us here next August. So it's my pleasure to introduce Michelle Mara, Senior Vice President for Finance and Administrative Services.
Thank you, Scott. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for participating in this town hall with us. We're really glad you are here. I just want to spend a couple minutes talking with you about student accounts. For the fall 2021 semester, each student will receive a bill electronically on July 1, 2021. The students can access this bill at selfservice.marietta.edu or via the My Marietta portal. You can view the details of your bill, you can make a payment, you can set up direct deposit for refunds, and you can add parent user accounts if you choose. The fall bill is due by August 1st, 2021. Your account is automatically set up on a 4-payment plan, so it defaults basically to a 4-payment plan. The payments on this plan are due August 1, September 1, October 1, and November 1. There is a $50 payment plan enrollment fee. However, if you pay your account in full by August 1st, the enrollment fee is waived. So you have options on how to pay your balance for the semester. If you have questions about your bill or the payment process, please do not hesitate to reach out to our student accounts personnel. They can be reached at 1-800-274-4619 or via email at mcbill@marietta.edu. We are very excited to have you on our campus this fall. Thank you. So at this time, I'm going to introduce Larry Heiser, our Director of Athletics. Larry.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Michelle. Thanks for joining us. I want to give the president a little shout out for giving us a shout out. We appreciate the support, and when you get to campus, you'll find that the campus is so supportive in so many ways you'll really feel it as a student when you're here. I will agree with him that our coaches and our athletes have done an unbelievable job at staying healthy and staying on the field and actually winning quite a few games. Knock on wood. I don't know if that's wood or not, but I shouldn't say this, but we've had sports since January, and every week someone has canceled because of COVID, except for the Pioneers, right? We have not done that. So I hope I didn't jinx us. I should have never said that out loud, but I wanted you all to know that as incoming students that we've been doing a great job. I will send out a couple of messages to some of our teams. Some of you guys out there might be playing on some of these teams. Men's soccer had a record-setting day today. They won their 7th conference game to be 7-2 and earned themselves a first-round bye in the upcoming OAC tournament, so we're really happy for them. The volleyball team is the 4th seed in the upcoming OAC tournament, the highest seed they've ever achieved. Women's lacrosse will be in the tournament for the first time in their 3-year existence, so they're making great progress. Football's 2-2, heading into a crossover game that we hope to win and end up at 3-2. And then baseball is off to a blistering start at 16-1 and winning by large margins. So congratulations to those people and all the rest of the ones in our department. I really don't have much to say other than to say we want to see you at one of those Pile stores that Dr. Danford mentioned earlier, mostly because that's when my message will be given to the parents and the student athletes. But just to clarify that football players will come in on the 10th of August, And then all the other athletes will be here for freshman move-in day, and for soccer, volleyball, and cross country, your camp will also start then too. So there's going to be a little bit of scheduling and conflict right away at the beginning of your career that's going to help you learn how to navigate when we do the home activities and your practices. So there may be times for you freshman fall athletes that you might miss a practice in order to attend a home activity. We want to get that word out to you right away. That's all I have, but I'll be around to answer questions, and I'm going to turn it over to Elizabeth Vigue, the Secretary of our Student Government Association. Elizabeth?
Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Vigue and I am the Secretary of the Student Government Association here at Marietta College. And I'm in charge of gathering formal and informal feedback from students via social media and pop-up events. So be on the lookout for pop-up events on the mall next semester. As an organization, we try to amplify the student voice and enhance your Marietta experience, so we're really here for you guys. We choose 4 representatives from the freshman class, and I encourage you all to look into running for those positions. Applications go out the second week of the fall semester, so be on the lookout for applications which will come in through your email. On behalf of the student body, we're all really excited to see you in the fall, and I hope that you will take advantage of all the opportunities that Marietta College has to offer.
All right, we're going to go ahead and, Elizabeth, give you the first question. Someone wants to know, as a student and obviously a member of SGA, what advice would you give to incoming students that you wish someone had told you?
The advice I would give to incoming students is to take advantage of, or I guess like make a list of all the opportunities you want to take advantage of and kind of be strategic about how you plan that. I would say look through all the information that you are given at your PioSoar events and at your home events, and then look on our website as well for different events and opportunities that you can take advantage of here on campus, and find the ones that you really want to take advantage of and make a plan to get involved and to do those different things, because you will be hit with a lot of information at the beginning of your first semester, so you just want to be cognizant of planning and making sure that you get to do everything you want to do here at Marietta College.
Thank you very much. We'll call up Provost Bland for the next question. And as you work your way up there, we have someone who says they're interested in studying abroad, but they're just not sure how soon people will be able to travel abroad, so they're just wanting to know, do you think they'll have an opportunity in their 4 years here to do that?
We actually have 2 people who are going abroad this summer, God willing, and the State Department. So we are looking at these case-by-case basis. We're also going with the guidance when we see a State Department warning of a level 3 or level 4 warning, no, you're not going. But we have a lot of time ahead of us. I love that you're thinking ahead about study abroad. And I would encourage you to keep thinking about this. So our experiment is about to run, and we'll see how that goes for this summer. There's also opportunities, not just the traditional go abroad for a semester, but often there are classes that have an international component to them. So you may find that it's built into your curriculum in a different way, but absolutely that is one of the ways with our general education requirements that you can fulfill your experiential learning requirements. So I would really urge you to think about it. But yes, don't give up hope on international travel. My guess, based on guessing, is that countries that are considered more developed in their ability to deliver vaccines and deliver testing, because there's a wide variety of experiences and capabilities around the world, the places we're going to see that are able to have more of a public health response, like the United States, etc., Canada, they're going to be in a different place than someone who says, I have always wanted to go to, and then names a region of the planet that is still catching up with vaccines. So be thinking about what that looks like for you. All right.
All right, we're going to call up Dr. Danford. As you can imagine, we have some dining questions. The first one is a very quick and easy one. Just wanting to know, does the student have to take the meal plan or a dining plan?
So if you are living on campus in campus housing, you are required to have either a 14 or a 19 meal plan as part of that experience.
All right, and then the second dining question we have is someone who has specific dining needs, just wanting to
Yes.
know what, I'll just go ahead and say it, what Parkhurst does to accommodate certain specific needs that they might have.
This is a great question, and I'm very happy to say that our partners at Parkhurst Dining Services, that's who we contract with to provide dining on our campus, are fantastic at meeting the needs of students who have special dietary restrictions, whether those are for religious reasons, medical reasons, whatever your allergens are. They will meet with you. They will have you meet with their dietitian to make sure that your needs are being met. It's all about keeping the lines of communication open. They are very receptive, very responsive, and very willing to make sure that every single student diner's needs are being met in whatever means is necessary.
All right, I'm going to leave this open to whether it's you or Mr. Heiser, whoever's best at answering this. I know that Larry touched on how student athletes have to navigate the orientation experience, the home experience. They're just wanting a better explanation of what does that look like? Is there, what that balance looks like in their home experience?
Yeah, so there's a lot of open communication between the Office of Student Life and the Department of Athletics to ensure that gaps in the schedule for home align with the schedule for the fall sports in particular. So that's football, volleyball, cross country, men's and women's soccer, to make sure that students can do both things while minimizing the impact on their experience, both as student athletes and as students who are trying to become part of a first-year cohort. So I don't know if Larry has anything he wants to add. He's shaking his head no, so guess I knocked that one out.
I think you covered that just well. There is another question about vaccine, but what I want to ask the different question first is, do we anticipate testing for COVID-19 to continue into the fall like we've been doing, especially in the spring semester?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough question to answer. I don't think we're probably going to needing to do the kind of surveillance testing that we're doing. For those of you who may not be aware, every Tuesday since late October, right, we have been having testing run by the Ohio National Guard on our campus, and that has been heavily utilized by student athletes, by students who are education majors who are out in the field, students who are athletic training majors who are having field experiences, students who are music therapy majors who are having field experiences, because those are all situations in which they need to be able to report their COVID status on a regular basis. And then, of course, for sports teams that are in competition, there's follow-up day before testing. When they have a competition, they have to have a COVID test within a 24-hour period. So as more and more students are vaccinated, as more and more employees are vaccinated, I think we will see less of a need for the regular surveillance testing, but our Center for Health and Wellness will continue to have tests available to do testing as needed, as will our athletic training staff.
All right, one more question, then we're going to turn it over to President Ruud. A housing question, and it really is sort of that, the way they're asking the question is, what is it the thing that you see that students bring traditionally every year that right away you pretty much tell them, no, they probably shouldn't have brought that. So maybe they can avoid that mistake.
The toaster oven. Toaster ovens are a real fire hazard, and so they are they are a common thing that students want to bring. Hot plates, any of those sorts of electrical items. And all first-year residence halls have a micro fridge. That is a residence hall-sized refrigerator with a microwave unit on top of it. So you will not need to bring a refrigerator. You will not need to bring a microwave, because your room will have one of those provided for you in the first-year complex.
Another question came in while you were speaking about that, so I'll go ahead and ask it. And I'm going to ask, it's Karen Walker Main has asked the question, so I didn't mean to call her out, but I'm hoping she might clarify in case I'm not sure what exactly she's saying. She just wanted to ask, what is the date, what date is the outing for freshmen? I don't know.
I think it's on the Friday of that week. The 6th, so 16th is Monday, so whatever the Friday is, that will be the end of that week. Thank you. The 20th.
All We will move on to President Ruud for a couple questions here. As I had mentioned when Dr. Danforth was up there was still the question about vaccination, and I thought it might be good to come from you as you have encouraged them. And then during the conversation on here, Tanya Judd Pucella had encouraged education majors to think about it. I guess they're seeing some schools requiring the COVID vaccine. What would be the scenario that makes us go that direction?
It's a great question. Thanks for asking. Right now we strongly encourage the vaccine, and we noticed that there are about a half a dozen or 10 schools that have decided that they are going to mandate the vaccine for either students and employees. We're going to continue to pay close attention to the CDC. We're going to continue to pay close attention to whether or not the emergency use authorization changes. We're also going to pay attention to what the state of Ohio does, what the governor says, what the governor suggests, and continue to meet with our legal counsel and other colleges in the state of Ohio to see where they are going in terms of what we are allowed to require. But please know, all the schools that have already come out and said they're going to mandate it still have a strong policy for religious preference as an exception, medical preference as an exception. So the mandated issues are still having some significant exceptions associated with them. As we move down that road, we will continue to keep everybody informed, both people who are on campus, returning students, incoming students, and their families.
Okay. Next question is a little bit to do with how Marietta College has been able to sort of handle this past year. What they said is where we live, the local schools have been remote learning for most of the year. And many of my friends who went to college this year have been doing remote learning as well. What is it that Marietta College did or is doing that allowed you to have in-person learning all year?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I got all the folks out here going, because we're great. No, I think what we did is when we started this conversation a year ago in March, when the governor shut us down on the 10th of March, we pivoted and went remote in less than 1 week. But we also looked at the classroom. We diligently measured 6 feet between chairs in classrooms. We stored chairs, we stored tables, we stored desks. We bought a lot of plexiglass, we bought a lot of plastic, we bought a lot of cleaning equipment, electrostatic sprayers. Our housekeeping staff behind the scenes for the last year has been awesome in terms of cleaning and refurbishing and sanitizing. There are more hand sanitizers on campus than you would know. I think that in conjunction with the testing, in conjunction with what I thought was kind of a cute little suggestion back in March of 2020 that continued to make our success, was the Marietta College cocktail. And that was, we required everybody to wear a mask. We required everybody to wash their hands at least 5 times a day. We required everybody to keep socially distant or physically distant. We had no transmission of cases, student to student, student to faculty, faculty to student within the classroom. We kept protocols. We watched what the hospital protocols were, and we used a lot of them. And then we also reported symptoms. As you heard folks talking, you heard Richard talking, the National Guard is a hero in this. So if you see a guardsman or guardswoman, you see anybody from Special Team Fox out of Columbus, which was our medical partner, they tested us every week. We tested from 200 to 500 people every week so that we could get the knowledge of who was positive, who was negative, when we went into quarantine, and then the student life staff, our absolutely fabulous physician's assistant, and our 2 nurses, one who's an emergency room nurse and one who's a public health nurse, monitored it on a weekly basis. So that, now did we have cases? Sure we did. But we think we really mitigated it and were able to deal with it. But the other big reason I think that we would tell you, future students and family members, Marietta College is a small private liberal arts college. We are 1,250 students strong. We are about 375 employees strong on a 90-acre campus. So there's a natural spacing that goes on a small campus, even though you interact with your friends, you interact with your colleagues, and know that students were interacting in the dormitories, they were eating at tables together, but through a variety of mitigation procedures are really what we believe we were able to challenge this pandemic. And we noted that we got very good at it in the fall, so that we're incredibly good at it this spring. And I think as of today, we have zero active cases. We have 0 active cases on this campus, and hopefully are going into the last 3 weeks of the semester that way. Again, we'll encourage all of you to get a vaccine this summer if you're willing and able to. And as we come into the fall, know that both on a COVID-19 level, on a general safety level, we're all about making sure, A, we cause your success, and B, that we keep you safe and sound while you're progressing through your 4 years of college education at Marietta College.
Before we do the last question, I probably would encourage you to knock on wood like Larry Heiser did too, since you said we have 0 cases, but it is a good thing. So the final question coming from a parent. This is, as a parent of a child who has not been in a physical classroom for more than a year, I am concerned that my child has fallen behind or may struggle a bit with adjusting to college. Can you tell me how Marietta College is planning to accommodate when students like my child may need more time to adjust?
Absolutely. We will be reaching out to all of our incoming students this summer. We have a program in place called Assist, which will assist you both in the transition to in-person education. It will allow you to transition to Marietta College. We have a series of programs in the fall that will make you comfortable. In addition to our Academic Resource Center on campus, in addition to our Student Life program on campus, we are your partners. And we will take all students, whether they were in person, not in person, hybrid, and make sure that they become incredibly comfortable in the summer, in their orientation, in home week, and as we move into the fall, that they will be able to get back into the swing of being in person on a college campus in the first year of their success in their 4-year journey down the road in Marietta College. So know that as that process occurs, students, parents, families, reach out to us. Reach out and let us know. We are here by their side to help them. We want them to be successful. We know they might have challenges. Make sure we know about it, and we will be there to make sure they are taken care of. So having said that, Tom, thank you very much. Thank all of you for tuning into our town hall. I hope it's been helpful to you and your families to be able to ask all kinds of questions and get direct answers from us, the source. If you have additional questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us via email, via phone, or any other method. You can find our contact information on the college's website, and of course you will come to memorize that and know that it's www.marietta.edu. We will continue to keep our students, faculty, and staff, as well as our family members and our community informed with the latest information regarding our COVID-19 plans and actions. It is important that you know we are not out of the woods yet in this pandemic. We must remain vigilant and continue to wear our masks, wash our hands regularly, and maintain proper physical distance from one another as we protect ourselves, our peers, our loved ones, and any other members of the community. As I began saying back in March 2020, we will get through this together, but we will need everyone to do their part. I look forward to putting the final touches on this academic year, which will culminate with back-to-back commencement ceremonies, celebrating first with the class of 2021 on Saturday, May 1st, and then, as we promised, welcoming back and celebrating the class of 2020 with an in-person graduation on Sunday, May 2nd. I also want to congratulate all of you who will graduate from high school this spring. I want to acknowledge the sacrifices that you made during what normally would be an incredible and enjoyable time in your lives. You have shown strength and courage as you committed yourself to completing your high school education, no matter what. I believe wholeheartedly that the high school class of 2021 and the Marietta College class of 2025 is absolutely prepared to accomplish any goals that they make. And I will be here to watch you succeed. As I wrap up tonight's town hall meeting, I want to encourage you to keep working very hard to finish your final weeks as a high school student, and don't be afraid to lean on each other for support. Reach out when you need help, and remember that I'm so very proud of you for everything you have accomplished over the past year. All of us at Marietta College cannot wait to see you on campus this fall.